It says it's preparing the live stream. Okay, we should be live on Facebook now. Fingers
Oh,
crossed.
yay!
Second time lucky in a day.
Yay! Yay!
Let's
Oh,
see. But thank you for joining me, Victoria, this
my pleasure.
lunchtime. Chat about well-being, as we know it's so important for everybody, but especially people with dyspraxia.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you've obviously been doing quite a bit of work recently about trying to help people manage that well-being. So do you want to give us a quick run through about you and your experience?
Yeah, so really excited to be here. Long journey, late diagnosed, but very passionate about. Really struggled with my mental health in my teens and 20s, and I think quite a lot of that was related to dyspraxia, and that feeling of low self-worth. And I've really found a toolkit that's really helped me with my self-esteem and to really build better well-being. And I've dipped into positive psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as I trained as a life coach. So all of those skills have really enabled me to become as resilient as I am today, really.
Excellent. I think that's key, isn't it? Is overcoming those difficulties does build that
Hmm.
resilience, and
Hmm.
it means you can approach difficult situations that bit more strongly,
Hmm.
essentially. So, what do you think would be if you had to narrow all of your wonderful expertise and your advice that you give to people, are there sort of top three tips that you would
Yeah,
share to somebody?
yeah. So top three tips, things that you can do right now to feel better. So I'm talking when you wake up tomorrow morning, there are three things that really help. Tip number one, grab yourself a journal, and write down three things that you're grateful for. That activates the reticular activation system of the brain, which is the brain's filter, and that will filter out positives for you. It also helps in offloading any negative feelings you might have. So writing down, they call it, Dan Siegel, the psychologist, calls it name it to tame it. When actually you write down any negative feelings, it takes it from the downstairs brain, which is the emotional part of the brain, and it takes it to the upstairs brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, and it makes sense of those feelings and reduces those feelings by 50%. So that's one key, journaling. Number two, I would say, is make mindfulness a part of your daily routine. So there are wonderful apps out there, Calm, Headspace, but actually focusing on the here and now, which is what mindfulness teaches you to do, even just for 10 minutes, can be really powerful in thickening the upstairs part of the brain, and reducing the amygdala, which is the emotional part of the brain. So investigate in one of those, or if you like, go on a mindful walk where you're focusing on all the sights around you, not ruminating on yesterday or what you're going to do tomorrow. But on that point, try to actually have a bit of exercise. So number three would be to exercise, and it can be just literally taking that dog for a walk, or going for a swim, just something physical, which really takes us again from our emotional brain to our logical brain. And people, they even say that actually you should do some exercise before an important exam or before an important event, because it really helps to help you to emotionally regulate. So tip number one, journal. Tip number two, 10 minutes of mindfulness. Tip number three, get active.
Absolutely. And in our webinar that we did back in March together, there was something you mentioned that really stuck with me about kind of taking that first leap to doing those
Hmm.
positive things. Because when you can it feels a little bit sometimes like you're stuck in mud and you just don't know how to even start climbing out of that when you're
Mm.
in that kind of low mood and that low space of mentality. So what would you suggest somebody does if they know that they need to do gratitude journaling, they know they need to focus on mindfulness, they know they need to start exercising, but just don't know how to start? How would you approach that with somebody?
Okay, so get yourself your best friend or your sister or your brother. Um, get them to be your accountability partner. And how it works when I'm coaching. So do you mind if I use you, Lucy,
Absolutely.
as a
Go
guinea
for it.
pig? So I want you to have a think about an area in your life that you'd like to improve upon in terms of your well-being.
Exercise, definitely. Getting
Okay.
myself out and about doing something, especially when my day is so busy, it's always the last thing on my agenda is to then go, right, I need to exercise now.
Okay. So it's a technique which I use in life coaching, which is called scaling. And we use a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 being not great, 10 being amazing. And so you're rating yourself on where you are on that scale. So Lucy, where, if we look at exercise, where are you on that scale at the moment?
Probably a 3, I think, because I'm made to go out twice a day for a walk with my lovely dogs. But outside of that, the motivation is very, very low. So probably a 3.
Okay. Okay. So and then you get your friend to ask you, have you ever been higher? Have you ever been higher in terms of exercise? Let's dig into and let's find past experiences. So were you ever higher up on the scale?
Yes, probably 8 to 10 years ago, very, very much into exercise, a daily thing almost, going for a run or a cycle or the gym and doing sort of various competitions and things. So yeah, definitely was a time when I was probably up to a 9, say, where it was, something I was doing a lot of.
Amazing. So how did that make you feel, Lucy?
I felt energized. I felt good about myself. I felt confident. Almost like I had a buzz for life at that point. It was very kind of, yeah, just energetic, really. Best way to describe it.
Okay, and I want you to visualize how that felt because when we visualize, that makes it even strong. The emotion, when we bring emotion to it, it makes us remember it and makes it even stronger. So, what did it feel? Visualize. What did it feel like? What were people saying to you?
They used to be so surprised that I had so much energy first thing in the morning that I would join in with the kids running around doing their run a mile at school every morning when I worked in school. So yeah, I think people just sort of looked to me and saw that I had a bit of a spark for life and energy at that point. So yeah, it obviously I felt that way, and it was obviously reflecting outwards as well.
Brilliant. So we'll call you Lightning Lucy. Sounds like you were, on that running streak there. And where would you say you were on the scale?
Oh yeah, probably about a 9. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so holding on to that and all that past expertise and the way that you felt, now I'm going to ask you, what could you do today to get you from that 3 to a 4? What's one tiny manageable step that you could do to actually get you back on that path to Lightning Lucy?
Um, I'm a bit of a stickler for planning. My calendar looks a bit like a rainbow most days because of all the blocked out timers I have. But I could do something as simple as blocking out some time for that piece of exercise, and then it's like a work task. It's something I have to do because that's the time in my diary to do it. So, even tomorrow, just sticking in lunchtime walk, and it's in my diary. I get a notification. It reminds me I need to do it. I don't forget about it because it's bottom of the pile. So yeah, I think I could start scheduling to do things.
Brilliant. It reminds me of last year I did Couch to 5K, and I love it when the weather starts to get a bit better and we've got spring on its way, lovely mornings. You're starting to get me sort of thinking about that bug about getting out there again. So, and having that accountability, this is why I say you need accountability partners. So, Lucy, I'm going to keep you to that. How committed do you think you are?
Definitely feel more committed now talking about how good it felt at the
Good.
time. I think it's a good way of reflecting on that, like you say, that emotion that went with that positive experience. And
Mm.
that is really powerful, and thinking, well, that felt really good and I can do that again. All I need to do is put something in my diary. So I definitely feel more committed to doing something. Definitely.
Brilliant. And what a tip I would share. So if you haven't got the resources to have coaching, it's about finding somebody who will really help you plan and motivate you and keep you accountable to your goals. And writing down goals really helps too, to keep you on track.
Absolutely, absolutely. Excellent. And so if somebody wanted to, start really focusing on their well-being and those small steps that we've talked about, those three top tips that you had, um, would you recommend going places for further support about well-being, or certain, what could they do next? They've sort of come to that conclusion that I need to start focusing on well-being. I've got these top tips. What could they do next?
Think, buy yourself a journal. Find experiment with the different apps that are out there. I think they're great. Also, there's a lot of great resources on YouTube for mindfulness. So I was doing a class on well-being yesterday, and I used the Calm free recordings that are on YouTube just to introduce you to mindful meditation, and dig out those trainers from the wardrobe and dust off your shorts or your leggings, and just putting your trainers outside your bedroom door can be a really great way of starting out. And I say to people when I'm coaching people, even if you just um, go outside the front door in your trainers, that's it. That is a step further towards getting fitter. And because you've got outside the front door with your trainers on, you'll think, well, I might as well do something now. I might as well go and say, perhaps go for a 5-minute walk or a 5-minute jog. Start really slowly, but see the steps mount up, and keep a record of those steps. It is really, really contagious. Also, there's a great running app, after the Coach to 5K, a podcast. It's done by, I can't remember her name. I think it's another Lucy. But there's some great running podcasts that you can download that you can listen to while you're out running or walking. So buy a journal, find yourself some recordings on YouTube, or invest in one of the apps that you like, and then dust off your trainers and put them outside your bedroom door. One thing I think as well it's really good is going to, if you're a woman, going to sleep in your running bra, so that actually you're almost there. You've just got to put your leggings and your sweatshirt on, and you're almost out there. So but it's
Absolutely.
making those reminders visual that really helps
Mm,
too.
definitely, absolutely. I thought it's about having that plan, isn't it? And that
Yeah,
focus on yourself about that well-being journey.
yeah,
Something we hear quite a lot of though as well is people with dyspraxia sometimes have that sense of overwhelm, whether that
yeah.
be sensory overwhelm, stress, anxiety. Is there anything people can do when they're in that moment of kind of extreme emotional state where they can't think logically, they can't think, well, I know I need to go for a 5-minute walk. What sort of strategies could they apply in that moment to kind of get them out of that heightened emotional sense of anxiety?
So I use grounding techniques, which can be really powerful. So there's that one, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, um, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. Really brings you back into the present moment. And another one that's really powerful is using the art of visualization. So this is literally getting yourself a pad of paper and a pencil and doodling your safe space. So it doesn't matter what the drawing looks like, but it's about you actually visualizing that safe space that actually turns on the visual cortex of the brain, which in turn turns on the parasympathetic nervous system. And that actually will then really calm you And it can be a safe person, a safe place, but it's just the act of visualizing that place, that person, that really helps to get you into that good place again.
And even things as simple as, calm breathing and that sort
Yeah,
of the timed breathing, just to calm the heart
yeah,
rate down and just to kind
yeah.
of, because obviously a heightened heart rate, heightened sense of emotion, it spirals and spirals. So it's
Mm,
about getting that sense of calm back in, isn't it? With grounding and the safe space visualization.
mm,
Absolutely.
mm,
Brilliant. Well, I definitely, I feel that there are lots of options that people can do. And I think one of the key things I took from our wellbeing webinar that we did together the other week is that there's so many different methods, but it's about finding one that works for you,
mm,
because everybody has different triggers, different things that mean more to them in terms of, the emotional sentiment that goes with things as well. So I think
mm,
my sort of takeaway from a lot of those conversations was try them and see what
mm,
works for you, and then you'll have
mm,
your go-to toolkit that you can be relying on, and accessing in, whether it's a point of anxiety or whether it's your daily kind of progress to really
mhm,
positive mental health and well-being. So absolutely. And we've obviously got our webinars coming up. We've got two more
mhm.
coming up in April, 19th of April, and then the 17th of May, which people can still book onto. Do you want to give us a bit of an insight into what we cover in those webinars for anyone that might be keen on learning a bit more about wellbeing?
Yeah, so we'll learn about the brain. We'll also learn techniques from cognitive behavioral therapy as well as positive psychology, but we go into more depth on the programs that we have coming up. Yeah, and I'm also there to answer any questions too. So it's really helpful, and we tend to be small groups. So yeah, really powerful way of finding out what works for you.
Yeah, and it was a nice chance for people to chat about their experiences and share their,
Absolutely.
their frustrations and their worries, and good feedback from it, that people took a lot of really positive techniques
Mhm.
that they were going to go and take away and try out for themselves. So definitely recommend people sign up to one of those if they can as well. And obviously they can get in touch with you via your website if they wanted to explore
Absolutely.
coaching.
Absolutely. So either drop a message I'm on Facebook, Victoria English. So please link in with me there, or go to my website, victoriaenglishwellbeing.co.uk. And my email address is there. So get in touch that way. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So yeah, really welcome linking in with anybody there.
So yeah, I'll pop them all in the chat underneath this live video as well, so people can click on the links to do that. And obviously, don't forget, excuse me, that you can go to the Dyspraxia Foundation website. We have lots of resources and more coming very soon as well that can support with that, as well as our membership to connect with other people. Because I think that as well is really powerful for well-being, is
Mm,
connecting with others, sharing experience, supporting one another, having that accountable
mm,
person that
mhm,
understands what you're going through, I think can be
mhm.
really powerful. So yeah, connecting with others through our membership and our events, I think will be a really useful next step for people too. Fabulous. Well, I will let you get back to your lunch, as this is a lunch and learn. But I've found it really insightful, and it's a really lovely kind of snapshot insight into the world of well-being and how we can be making a really positive difference to ourselves. So thank you very much for joining me for our chat today, Victoria.
Oh, pleasure. And I'm look forward to seeing you on that LinkedIn Live, not LinkedIn Live, on our webinar coming up soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks very much, Victoria.
Thank you. Bye bye.